YouTube, welcome back. Another day above ground here. We're at the school gym. What do we got today? We got some lower. Yesterday was a field day. I kind of messed up the recording, I'm not gonna lie. My battery died, so I might have posted a couple clips from it. We'll see, but it was not a whole video worth because my camera was dead. But we still trained. It was the usual things yesterday. We did the heavier sprints, we did some accelerations, a little bit of lunge jump stuff, some throws, some jumps, etc. All those things. So a lower today a little bit, not too crazy high volume, but some medium difficulty stuff. So some block power cleans we're gonna start off with. We got a little bit of that, some fronts with a little bit of tempo, a little bit of push from that, and a couple accessories from there. Not too crazy high volume, but supporting the work later in the week. Like I said, just kind of getting a little more stimulus, a little more often. But yeah, I feel pretty good. I'm honeyed up right now. School gym, like I said, so we got some good stuff in here. We'll get right to the block power. We're sets of 5 for that. I'm just gonna add weight till it's not good anymore for sets of 5. Just kind of get my freaking volume on and keeping a clean in of some sort, some kind of Olympic in. It's just of any sort makes my training feel better and makes me feel more athletic than when I don't. So we're gonna keep doing that. I already ripped a plate here, so I'm just gonna whack a 10 on as well. We'll get moving. Ooh, hectic day here today. A lot of moving pieces in the off-season groups, which good problems to have. Means there's a lot of people training, but tough part about coaching in the school setting sometimes is that there are often very conflicting levels of skill between groups. So it's like my off-season group right now is like varsity football starters and like 8th graders at the same time sometimes, which it's good because people are getting excited about training and coming to train, but logistically it makes that freaking hard sometimes. So it gets a little messy, a little rough on the smoothness of sessions here and there, but whatever, such is the case. It's good to have that many kids that want to come freaking lift some weights out, which is cool. Oh yeah. Kind of an ugly one in the middle there. Lost my footing a little bit, but cleaned it up the last couple, not too bad. I don't know if I'll go much higher. I'm not good at these block cleans compared to just a hang power. I can't use my hip dip and get a stretch reflex going, so that's challenging. We'll see, I'll give it a minute, see if I want to add a teeny bit. Against maybe my better judgment, I'm gonna throw a 5 on, and we'll see how I move this bad boy. If not, I'll just drop it back down and do another set or 2. But I wanna try it, because why not? Life is too short to not add 5 pounds to the bar. Bang. All right, not too bad actually. That was about the same as the last one. I got another one in the tank before I get my squat on. I'm gonna try to squat under more. My technique is not great, Olympic-wise, if you can't tell. It's enough to get something out of them, which is all you really need, but since I always want to improve technique if I can, I'm trying to squat under a little more, because I watched that video back. I kind of am like stiff upright when I catch, which it is a power, so I should be more. I'm not like a full catching it in the bottom, but I think a little more knee yield would be good and kind of halfway meeting it at least and getting a little shove from there. Plus I think that'll let me cram a little bit more on the bar if I can figure out how to do that and make that smoother. Because the pull itself actually doesn't feel bad. I'm treating this more like a hinge than I used to, which I think I'm supposed to do from some stuff I've watched. But yeah, that will get me there. I think the next part, making my upper body feel less robotic and stiff when I catch here. Like that. That felt good. It's a quarter squat under it there. The heck? That was definitely a little better upon playback. So I am a big fan of that. Compared to the first couple, we'll keep those bad boys grooving. Maybe any would-be Olympic lifting coaches can let me know in the comments how I can make that even better, but heavy enough to get a stimulus for sure. I can always tell them when I'm gonna feel my trap the next couple days. And that's gonna be it right there. So squat, clean done then. Time to get the front squat on. Not super heavy maximal weight for this, like I said, but some tempo reps with like a 3-second kind of control lower here. I got the slam port out to elevate my heels a little bit. Didn't want to put the lifters on. Doubles, kind of every minute and the minute here. So just some high quality reps in a short amount of time-ish. I'm gonna be like 6-ish sets of this. Once I get to some working weight, I'll probably be like a little over 2 plates and some change. And totally forgot the VBT in my house today. Otherwise, I totally would clip that up. Kind of sad. Absolutely sickening plate management here, but this is 245. That's a 25 and a 35 on top of that plate. Totally did my math wrong. That's supposed to be 235, not that much. I was like, damn, that feels heavy. So this will move much smoother. There we go. That's more appropriate. Totally forgot to record a couple of these / messed it up, but this is numero 4. Is that there at 6 rounds with 1 being extra credit because it was way too heavy because I can't do math. That was good though. Beat what I did last week. I'm gonna do this again. So I'm gonna save a little bit of room for improvement, even though I definitely could have squeezed out a couple more there. I'm gonna keep my moderate volume for this day instead of pushing that to the death with like 8 there, because that was getting freaking hard towards the end. To a little more accessory style lower now. I've got some posterior chain, which will be a Nordic today with some control tempo. I might add a tad bit of weight. We'll see how it feels. I didn't do them last week because I moved my days around. And I got some side bending. I've been putting that in this day, just some nice cue ball stuff. Because if I don't train those, they feel bad. I feel gummy in my core. So some nice side bending there, a little bit of that, some Nordic for sure. We'll see if I play around with anything else and set that up too. But moderate volume day, like I said today. Only really 3 or 4 main needle movers, quote unquote, of hard stuff. So I can get a little more work in a little more often. The real question is, do I Nordic or do I glute ham? I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna feel them out. The glute ham has been calling my name lately, and I haven't done that for quite a few waves, so that might feel kind of nice. Let's feel this out. Oh man, that's good. All right, I'm doing this. Let's see how many reps is hard. Ooh, that was 9, super strict. I'm gonna rock with these. I'm gonna make the smart decision maybe, since I've been doing Nordics for quite a few weeks in a row, except last week, and do these, switch it out, a little bit of a different stimulus. For athletic purposes, not just purely like powerlifting, bodybuilding stuff, the glute ham is so awesome compared to just a Nordic, which if you've done any of my programming and you're a athlete instead of just a lifter, you do a Nordic, which I think that's just one of those things that maybe never leaves the program because it's so unique. But the benefit of a glute ham, it applies stress in a little bit different way than a Nordic does, where the pad's a little higher here, duh, because you actually dig your knees in as you dip in and push, but it has the foot plate also, and just how the leverage of how it works for the Nordic, instead of being just that, just that behind the knee hamstring, only kind of towards the knee joint, really difficult. The ability to have the foot plate and push your toes into it and be a little more stable makes it kind of into the hip, tie in a little harder, and it just feels different. So if you are pretty strong in Nordics, which like I'm decent at Nordics, so I can really rep some of these out pretty decently, it is nice to be able to switch kind of back and forth between the two and get a little bit different stimulus from the two. And both really have their place in a program, I think. But it's I don't know, it's a little bit harder to do these properly as it is to get something out of a Nordic, just like a slow lower. I think like I can get anybody getting something out of a Nordic slow lower pretty quickly, even like younger kids, which for them it's kind of easier sometimes because they're a little bit lighter, so they can just get on there and feel a little bit of tension. But shout out this thing, get one of these. And I'm gonna use these for my side bends, these fixed barbells that I don't really touch much, but they're good, they're heavy. And I'm doing this on purpose because it's kind of harder to stabilize like the long way. You'll see. I'm gonna set it up, you'll see. Side view so you can tell. But this puppy's long, not a dumbbell, obviously. But it kind of like hems and haws a little bit. It makes it a little more difficult to hold against. So I've been liking doing this. Then you just don't have to hold a super heavy dumbbell too. But I'm strapping it up so I don't even have to worry about my hands on there. And it's just straight up a side bend, which looks kind of stupid, but whoa, super unique feeling for these. If you get in a plane where it feels good. Yeah, 10 is hard. My QLs might suck. I don't know if that's supposed to be that hard. Those side bends always make me feel very buttery after just moving around. All right, set 2 glute ham, 9 in the first one. Keep this super strict. Yeah, definitely a little gnarlier that time, big time. Thinking more of today and groups being a little stressful sometimes and a little quote unquote messy, a lot of stuff going on. I gotta remember, sometimes I get too cute with my programming and try to do too much like cool stuff that I know will be good for a few kids, but it's like, I gotta remember the training age sometimes. And this is a good thing to remember about your own training is that often when you get too cute, it gets worse all the time. Just keeping things as simple as possible and keeping them basic and sometimes linearly progressing once in a while. It's not gonna kill you. And just doing some things for a period of time, for a stretch, improving them, and then wrapping it back out is most often the way to go. Don't get cute, that's all. I gotta clean up the basics a little bit, which we all make mistakes. Everybody's still training hard. Everything is so good, but yeah, sometimes the older reliables are older reliables for a reason, and getting too complicated is just making things more complicated. That message can apply to your training, no matter your training age, no matter your goal, no matter who you are. Don't major in the minors. Don't get distracted. Don't switch things out. Just pick some things that you know will freaking work and that you're really good at coaching / really good at doing and can extract some gains from, and continue to do that for pretty much as long as possible until you can't squeeze another ounce of gains out of a specific thing, and then maybe it's time for something new. But yeah, need to do that, even myself. Oh boy. 7, give me 1. Oh, yeah. I don't know if we can count that last one, but that's freaking hard. Those always get to 0 RER, no matter what I think I'm gonna do at the start. But that is my day done. Like I said, kind of a brief Tuesday, just some volume here and there to keep me feeling good for the rest of the week. But tomorrow, some hypertrophy clusters, Wednesday or Thursday, haven't decided quite yet, will be that max velo day. We'll get to the turf for the track, get a little bit longer term sprints. Hopefully my message of the day rings true to you and helps remind you that you should keep your training simple in the near future and really hopefully extract some gains from it without getting bogged down in the specifics. Thank you for watching. Check out Brickwood Concurrent, that's down there. A couple new people checking those out the past couple weeks. So thanks, hopefully you like it. And that's all, see you in the next one.